So here we can see a small section of the ancient wall that surrounded the town of Shilo. Shilo was the religious center of the Jewish people in the period of the judges. And of course, it had to be protected against enemies like the Canaanites, the Philistines. So it was surrounded by a big wall. The wall is typical to walls that were built in the time of the period of the judges. Big stones, rough stones, and this wall was an addition to the natural protection of the town. Because on one side we can see the slopes going down from this hill to the valley, and the wall was a continuation of the slope. So the protection, the defense of the town consisted of two elements: the natural slope and the walls that continued the slope. So this is a section of the wall that surrounded the city, but this wall did not help. We know that the Philistines conquered Shilo and destroyed it, and we are going to see a part of the town which was destroyed, in which we can see remnants of the destruction of the city in the time of the Philistines. So let's go to see that part of the city which was destroyed and burnt by the Philistines. Here in this site, we can see the walls of Shilo. We can see two walls, and between the walls we can see big rooms, big chambers that were used for merchandise that was kept, preserved in these rooms. We found here, the archaeologists found here, big jars which were used to store wine, to store oil, probably also to store water. But in addition to the jars, the archaeologists here found remnants of total destruction. The city was conquered by the Philistines and was burnt to dust. Nothing was left here in the city. The big walls did not help Shilo and did not keep Shilo against the Philistines. The prophet Jeremiah mentions the destruction of Shilo, and he brings the destruction of Shilo to the people of Jerusalem in order to convince them that if they don't behave according to the Torah, if they don't behave according to the moral laws and rules of the Torah, Jerusalem would be destroyed. Just as Shilo was destroyed as a result of the wickedness of the priests that were here in the tabernacle. The sons of Eli HaKohen used violence in order to take the part of the priests instead of acting decently and morally. As a result of that, Shilo was destroyed. The same thing might happen to Jerusalem, says the prophet Jeremiah to the people of Jerusalem. Jeremiah is the only source in the Bible from which we can learn that Shilo was destroyed by the Philistines. It is not mentioned in the book of Samuel. But here, archaeology can help and can support the Bible. Here we can see the remnants of the destruction of Shilo. Everything here was destroyed and burned, and later a little town was built on top of the destroyed city, but it did not have the same glory that Shilo had before the destruction.